So today I just wanted to talk about learning to let go and really how much this has affected me in the past year, I would say, and not even in just a bad way, but in a good way. I honestly haven't done this much reflection in a while, but I am going to say that you guys motivate me so much, and I just want to sit here and thank you guys for just taking your time to comment and just say anything that's really nice. And it doesn't even have to be nice. I just like that you guys really respond and just connect with what I'm saying because I never expected this in a million years. Like, I kid you not, like, I created these videos for a personal journey to show growth and just to really just see how my thought process changes and how I evolve as a person. And I didn't really expect this. So, again, I just really want to thank you guys. And okay, back to the conversation. When I was like 20 years old, I remember I would constantly just consume so much content, right? And just watch so many people, so many opinions. And everything I would hear is say yes to everything, don't look back and just try everything when you're young, right? When you're in your 20s and when you're 19, and just kind of go with the flow, I guess, in that way and just figure out what speaks to you and what you're good at, right? But as I got older, I started to realize that we also need to learn how to say no. And there is beauty behind that. And I really do believe that when you say no, it's a much, much more harder than saying yes. And the reason for that is because you're allowing yourself to move on from something. And that's like the hardest thing that I could ever do for myself. And there's pros and cons of letting go of anything, whether it's relationships, friendships, or just career wise. But if I can go further, I guess a pro of letting go is you're probably going to get clarity from everything. You're going to feel peace in your mind. And a con for it, to be honest, it's probably regret. Like, we already know that. Like, regret is going to be the biggest issue of letting go of something, and that's what I would always tell myself, especially what I would write a lot about, because I would always constantly just go back and forth with what is for me, what's not for me. And letting go, the issue with this is that we try so hard to let go of something, but the reason why we just keep it around is because it keeps us busy. And sometimes I think that peace is confused with boredom. But I do believe that life sometimes has to be boring. And I've said this multiple times, that it's okay to just have that one thing that speaks to you or not have anything. And, every time I talk to you guys, I'm also just talking to myself. And in this day and age, maybe social media does kind of influence our decisions a lot. And it sucks because you can be even adult, matured, and social media can still manipulate us in a way to change our opinions on things. And I started looking back at how much everything has changed for me, right? Like, I legit wouldn't expect that I would be interested in film right now. Eventually you're going to find something that speaks to you in a different way, and it might not be something that you expected, but you'll find clarity. The past version of yourself probably wouldn't like what you're doing right now because they have something completely different in mind. Of course I want to continue to take risks and continue to challenge myself and not always just assume that I have to get out my comfort zone, but get myself in a way where I know that I'm not just sitting around and waiting for something to happen for me. And I know you heard that a lot of times, but still, like, it's very important. And it's just crazy how negative I used to be in a way, and just towards myself. Like, with people in general, I try my best to just always be uplifting and not really tell people what to do, because we're all just human. We're all still growing and trying to learn from each other, right? And I don't think it's right to just sit there and tell someone how to live their life. And, maybe it's okay to be blunt sometimes with people you love and you care about, but still, like, it's better to guide someone and to show them, your opinion on things. And they don't have to agree with you. And I think that's the best thing to accept. For me, it was never about who I was as a person. It was more so about what I want to do with my life. It was always about career. It was always about having something to keep going with. And I don't know why. Like, we live in a life where career can become an obsession, I would say. And then you have to sit back and realize that life isn't all about your career. There's relationships, there's friendships that you're going to meet one day. And, there is like glimpses of moments where you meet people and you kind of have to act on it there. And this is what I would write in my journals constantly. I would sit there and just talk to myself in a way. Me at 20 years old and 19, I would not be doing this. I would not be sitting here. I would ignore these sort of like callings because I felt like this wasn't for me. I felt like, no, like, I need to just stay quiet and stick to other things that I never was even fully interested in. My energy was so different. And so for me, acting, directing, and filmmaking in general was starting to be a passion of mine since, like, I would say 2021 and 2020. It was just in the back of my mind though. I was like, you know what, should I try this? Like, is this something that I want to do? And you would kind of put yourself in this situation where you're like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough because I don't have any experience in it. And it feels wrong to just switch up after all these years of saying, oh, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And it's not necessarily worried about being perceived in my side. It was more so just lying to myself. And I felt like I was just doing something because it looked exciting, on the outside. It looked entertaining in a way. Just because you don't have experience in something, I guess it pushes you in a way to be like, oh, like I don't deserve that. But if you have this calling, if you feel like this is connecting to you and you feel this energy towards it, it's like, what's wrong with just saying, yeah, I want to do this? So recently I took an acting class. I sat there, it was a Zoom sort of thing, and it was cool. I'm not going to lie. They were really, really fun and great environment, and the energy was amazing. Everyone was just so positive and just really great people, if I'm being really honest here. But then I sat there and I started thinking, I don't think I want this right now. Maybe in the next few years I'll try it, but it's not for me in this moment. And this is the first time that I really sat there and said no, like without even thinking about it that much. And it's crazy to me because I was like, it didn't hurt me at all. It didn't make me feel any regret. I actually felt okay with that decision. And I think once you try something, you can analyze it right there and you can just say, you know what, I don't think I need to do this right now. I just wanted to get my priorities straight. I just wanted to make sure I'm having this balance in my life and I'm not just overwhelming myself with things that I'm unsure of. If the future wasn't scary, we would just feel content with doing nothing. Is that a bad thing? I don't know. But, maybe life is meant to be confusing so we can have this courage and I guess this energy to get up every day and do something amazing with our life. When I let go of something, my energy does feel lower because it feels like it's like grieving, right? You're letting go of something that it was hard to move on from. And it doesn't mean that it's going to disappear forever. I think it just takes so much courage for me to let go of something now. And maybe in the near future, it'll come back to me without really, thinking that it will or not. If it does, it does. And that's great. But right now I know what is aligned with me and what connects with me as a person. And I think that's what makes me happy. And even sometimes I notice when I'm not motivated to create something or I'm not motivated to create music, which is something that I do very often, I still somehow find a way to do it. And I think that's what showed me that this is what I really love doing, creating videos and film and, just writing music constantly and journaling. These are things that are going to always be around me. I'm sure of it. Obviously, I can't predict, me in 5 to 6 years, but yeah, that's what I would say.